I love the quote from, I believe it's from Atomic Habits. We don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. And I think when you're thinking about how we're in March right now, and it's been a couple months since people set New Year's resolutions and goals, this quote seems particularly timely. I think I've been feeling myself in the last couple weeks really starting to fall off the map with my goals, really starting to put in less effort, feeling less energized, feeling less motivated about my goals. And this is where having a system is so important, and a system that works for you, because it increases the sustainability and it increases how energized you feel about it and the product that you end up putting out and like the success that you end up having. And it's hard. It's so hard. Like I'm in the middle of, like I said, March right now, and it's so, you're like, oh, wow, this goal is going to be done by the end of 22. And at one point, it's, at the same time, it feels kind of like, wow, it's been so long, 2 months and only this much progress. And at the same time, you're like, it feels like it's been no time at all. Why haven't I made more progress? It's been no time at all. So it feels like it's been a really long time and a really short time at the same time. And I've tried a lot of different goal setting systems over the years. I've tried like the Hustle and the Manifestation and Excel spreadsheets. I've tried, and all the apps. I mean, I've tried so much stuff, and I found something that works for me. It's one goal setting system, one goal setting strategy that has really worked for me over the long haul. I made a vision book, and that really uses this concept. And so I kind of want to talk about it because we're in the middle of March. I think people need a little reboost of motivation on their goals, or at least I do. So by the end of this video, I'm hoping that you'll feel more motivated about your goals and that you'll have kind of like a step-by-step system. Like, how are you going to actually achieve your goals? How are you going to get back on the bandwagon? Back on the horse. Wow, these phrases. How are you going to get like back with it? How are you going to get remotivated again? And so basically the way we're going to do that is we're going to talk about some like high level, mid level, and then daily level systems for what you should do. So let's talk about the issue with goal setting. The main issue with goal setting is people will set a goal and then they don't change their behavior in that direction. They don't set a system that will help them. They will tweak their goals and change the wording of their goals. And this is where you get SMART goals, which I don't think there's something wrong with SMART goals, but I think they are a little incomplete. I mean, if you were just going to set a SMART goal, that's kind of an issue. And the one part about SMART goals that is the worst is the time-bound part, because the further something is out, like if you set a yearly goal, sure, it's bound by time, it's supposedly time-bound, but people are very bad at correctly estimating what they can get done in a year. And the further and further time gets out, you set a 10-year goal, a 20-year goal, the less likely you are to be correct about how that will actually come to pass. Whereas if you set a goal about what you can get done today, then people usually are much better at correctly guessing how much they can get done because it's only a day. But if you're setting these really big high-level goals, I feel like SMART goals are kind of cutting things short when you're talking about a year-long goal or these really big goals. Not to say that they're wrong, and I do talk about them in my vision book, but they're definitely incomplete, and they're definitely not my number one goal-setting tool and strategy that I use. So when it comes to products, there are two main things that I use for goal setting that I love. The first one, I'm going to talk about, I'll show you like kind of like specifically these. So the first one's the vision book that I made, and then the second one is this goal setting journal. And these two together are just a match made in heaven. So I'll first talk about this one. Okay, so this is my vision book. I talk about this all the time on the channel, but this is my vision book. And this is kind of the first step in goal setting. So the first part of it starts with visualization and what kind of dream life do you want to have? And then the next part of it gets into segmentation. And segmentation is such a good tool for goal setting. I think not enough people do this. I mean, it's kind of basic, but it's brilliant. It's one of those things that is simple and brilliant. So all segmentation is segmenting and kind of chunking backwards. A lot of people do not chunk their goals backwards. I mean, that's something that's kind of an aha for people. But you start, okay, this is where I want to be at the end of the year. Then let's segment the year into quarters. And so what do I need to do each quarter? Okay, let's segment quarter one into January, February, and March. What do I need to do each month? Okay, let's segment January into the weeks. What do I need to do each week? And so that process of segmentation is one of the best systems for setting goals. Now, the issue with that is you set this goal is a year long. And sure, okay, you can set these benchmarks. This is where I want to be. But let's say life happens and you fall off the bandwagon, then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, what am I doing? I wanted to be here at the end of quarter two, but I'm not there. And so you can totally reevaluate. And once you've already fallen off the bandwagon, then you kind of like restructure the segments. And for me, I'm very motivated by long-term goals. And so I need the long-term vision. I cannot just keep slogging through the trenches of the day-to-day if I do not have a bigger vision for why I'm doing this thing. And so that kind of helps with the bigger vision. That vision book is all about the big vision. Where do you want to be? This 100-day journal is kind of like 1 quarter. So 100 days, it's about a quarter. And so this segments it down even further. So this book primarily talks about the yearly and the quarterly level and monthly level, some other things, but predominantly I think it really excels in the arena of yearly and quarterly goals. This one takes a quarter and then it chunks it down even further. So at the very beginning, you have this section that you fill out. So yeah, at the beginning, you have this section that you fill out. So this is kind of their example filled out page. You could pause it, I guess, if you'd like to look at that more specifically. So it says, describe your goal. Why do you want to accomplish this goal? How will you know if you accomplish this goal? When will you accomplish it? What are the tools you will use? So that's kind of just like making a SMART goal, essentially, is what that is. And then my 100-day goal. And then it says, what is your first 10-day goal? And so that is what I love so much about this this little goal setting book, is you have your 100-day goal, and then every 10 days, you make a new 10-day goal. And when it comes to being time-bound, that's where SMART goals fall short, and segmentation helps with that time-bound aspect, really making sure, like, okay, what can I accomplish in 10 days? I know what I can accomplish 10 days. And when you're always looking forward to your 100-day goal, you realize sometimes the things you're doing on the day-to-day basis are not the best things that can move the needle. Maybe they're good things, but you could be doing better things. And so then you have these, it's a daily journal that you fill out. And I need a daily practice. I love daily practices to always keep me, like, while I'm down in the trenches, help me, like, focus on what the bigger vision is. And so it says things you're grateful for, which being grateful, I harp on about gratefulness all the time, but it's so good. When I first started a gratefulness practice, I could not think of a single thing I was grateful for probably 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes. You're like, how entitled do you have to be to not be able to think of anything you're grateful for? But I love it. I'm obsessed with it now. It made my life so much better. My life didn't change, but it made my perception of my life so much better, which is, I think, what people want. That's what a lot of people want. They want to not have to change and think their life is great. So that's one thing you can do. And then it says, in 99 days, I will, and every day that counts down. So in 53 days, and 52 days, and how many days I will. And it just always realigns you. So it says, to achieve this, I will accomplish these 3 micro goals today. And then it kind of gives you a schedule. And then you chart your discipline. You rate it on a scale of 1 to 5 in your overall day. And then when you get to your first 10 days, then you chart that, which I think there's like a typo in it, because when you graph your discipline, it's on a scale of 1 to 10, but when you chart it every day, it's on a scale of 1 to 5. Anyway, so then you chart it, your discipline and your overall day, and it's so good. And then you fill in, like, what % of the way you are to your goal, and I don't know. These two together are just a match made in heaven. I'm using both of these. So what I really wanted to do with this video is I mostly just wanted to talk about this because I think it's so good. I just happened upon it at Barnes & Noble, and since I'm obsessed with goal setting, I'm like, you know what, I'll try it out. I'm willing to try, like, anything out, and I have been loving it. So I think that it's so good. It's been such a good system because it does incorporate a few, I don't call them emotional things, but values-based things, and a lot of times it's that the emotions, the values that kind of keep you going and keep you motivated. A lot of times it's like the emotions fall off track long before your hard work will fall off track. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the emotions that will derail the hard work. And so it asks you, like, why do you want to do this? And how are you feeling? And how are your days? And it asks you questions like, what was the most successful thing you did in the last 10 days? And then it says, like, how can you capitalize on those wins? How can you really keep that ball rolling? And so I think that has been so great. And so this is kind of a little boost. This is the thing that I incorporated since I started getting unmotivated. I was like, I need to juice this up. I need to do something. And for me, I like new things. So if we got this year-long process, I need something that's going to kind of keep it fresh. So this was something that kind of helped me because I like new things. So yeah, that has been so helpful for me. Segmentation, that is the biggest thing. The issue with time-bound goals is that they need to be segmented into smaller and smaller frames of time so that you can actually understand what you can realistically accomplish. So yeah, that is what I'm doing for goal setting. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.